Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Midweek War. I am Mad Mike, and we are here to talk Impact Wrestling. We would have had this up last night, but I had some squad business to attend to. Go see Suicide Squad. Better than the reviews will let you believe. But with me, someone who probably had a better night than I did and didn't watch Impact is Eamon Paton, the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling. How are you?
I didn't watch Impact. I unfortunately had other things that kept me from watching Impact this week. But I did get a gist of everything. I skimmed through some of their YouTube clips because they basically, if you don't follow their YouTube channel, like they basically post most of all the stuff you need to see on the show. Like I missed like the full matches, but hey, whatever.
Okay, so you really didn't miss anything because the matches were nothing really to write home about. Okay, but since Eamon didn't watch the full show, we don't feel he has the full perspective to give a good, bad, and change. So he's just kind of gonna I'm gonna tell Eamon a story about Impact, and I want to see his reactions to things. My word for Impact this week is frustrated. and it's basically me being frustrated because I know this isn't the case because I know they taped this like a month ago, but I feel like they watched our episode of the Midweek War last week and they're like, okay, Mad Mike is giving us credit for this, and this. Let's ruin all those things. Let's just completely destroy all of them. So I may have a lot of bads this week, but we will get to them. I'll start with a good. Allie is still goddamn amazing.
I think that's literally been our good every week.
And you know what? She's the only character in the Knockouts division that has some kind of depth.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's weird saying that because besides Maria, she wrestles the least.
Yeah.
Like, I understand every single motivation that the character of Allie has.
Well, yeah, she has the most depth, and that's also... I even think she would have more depth than the Knockout that has a dead brother living in a tree who... Somehow she has more depth, but...
Yeah, I don't know if I qualify that as depth, but we'll get to that. But yeah, like Allie wants to be Maria's faithful servant, and then Maria put her in a match, which I said should happen, and then it happened, and oh man, did it happen? Yeah, it was. Gail Kim is on a quest to get back the Knockouts title. Fine. I don't approve of that, but okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, you want to have your first Hall of Famer that's also a champion, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. Fine. You shouldn't have her beat the Knockouts champion in a handicap match on the way to becoming Knockouts champion. I don't care if she pinned Allie. I don't care. She still holds a victory over Sienna
in a 2-on-1 match.
Yeah, in a 2-on-1 match where, like, I don't know. It's just, it's mad.
I'm kind of tired of Gail Kim.
Oh, I've been tired of Gail Kim for years. It's no fault of Gail Kim. I want to say this clearly. It is no fault of Gail Kim. Gail Kim is a fine performer. There's nothing.
She just wouldn't be my choice to like I guess she's been there a long time. Cool, but like that doesn't mean you have to lead the division around her 365 days a year.
Yeah, like
she's the sole focus of that division.
She is the only focus. Like they've never focused on anyone else for longer than maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, but like, Gail's always been in the mix. Like I don't know. It's not a knock on her. It's just I'm tired. Like you can't just keep giving us the same thing over and over again. I would say that for some of the best wrestlers in the world. Like if you just kept giving us the same story with the same person overcoming the same odds.
It's like John Cena. It's like John Cena mid 2008. Like when we were really starting to get tired of Cena before he took it. like took a few breaks, started fighting some people for non-title stuff and things like that. Like, I understand they wanted to try and do that with Gail Kim and Maria, but if Maria's not going to wrestle, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And now even like comparing those two, like, and this is going to be the slightest knock I have for Gail Kim, but at least there were times where like Cena could still deliver a good promo, and I can still be like, oh, I enjoyed what you said there, or something, or
like the Cena Rock program, I didn't like it, but it had some really good promos in it.
Yeah, and he can still deliver good matches. Gail's matches are fine; they're just not.
They're not barn burners.
They're not barn burners, especially in this age of women's wrestling. Like, you gotta give us more than that. Like,
yeah, like the best Gail Kim match is maybe the second best women's wrestling match in WWE for a week.
Yeah,
and I don't say that lightly. And fuck, Lucha Underground, that's a whole different ball of wax. You can't even compare the two. But yeah, it's just the knockouts need to take wrestling a little bit more seriously. Like, they need to. They were the ones who kind of started this, and we always give full credit for them. Like, back when they first started the knockouts division, that was their draw. They had women who could wrestle and who could wrestle really well and had engaging storylines, and that has just gone so far off the rails.
Now that I think about it, I think even some of the better times for the knockouts division were the times when Gail wasn't there.
Yep.
Like that period where she was gone. Like, once she came back, like, there was some good stuff. Yeah, but like everything was focused around her.
Yeah, like, I love the Beautiful People stuff. I love the Awesome Kong stuff. Even Raisha Saeed had her moments, like, back in the day. Like, there was some fun stuff for Roxy Laveau. Like, there were some really cool moments, and it's just when it's focused around Gail Kim, it's the Poochie syndrome that I talked about. Like, when Gail Kim's not around, everyone's always like, "Where's Gail Kim?" Like, sometimes we don't care where Gail Kim is. You need to build another face. Like, they have no other face in the division.
I've said it before when they're like, there'll be times on commentary where the Pope's just like, Gail Kim's such a great fighting champion when she's not the champion.
And like, and you're building something with Rosemary. You're doing it, but you are wasting her in a tag team feud against one person.
Right, yeah, it's barely even a tag team feud.
Like Rosemary should be the Knockouts champion, and she should be the dynamic change that the Knockouts division needs, and she should be using her mind games against Gail Kim.
I would rather have her in that division. Like, I would rather have, because here's the thing, they have talented people and talented new people. Like, Rosemary, doesn't get to wrestle often, but she's an amazing professional wrestler when she wrestles outside of TNA. Jade, Sienna, Allie, Marty Bell, even, like, there's great wrestlers right now on that roster, more than there's ever been for the Knockouts. But
I would definitely agree with that.
But everything is focused around Gail.
And I get she's going to be your Hall of Famer. That's fine. Hall of Famer means you're close to retirement, or you should be retired. Yeah. Like, that's what a Hall of Fame means. There's a reason, like, if you retire in sports, there's a waiting period before you're even eligible for the Hall of Fame. That's the whole point of it. Like, unless there's, like, something drastic, like what happened with Edge or what happened with Eddie Guerrero. Like, honestly, those people can be put in the Hall of Fame right away. But you should not be in the Hall of Fame as an active competitor, because it just makes the rest of your division look shitty.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. There's so much other stuff you could do. Like, Jade hasn't even gotten her rematch for the belt.
Nope.
When she lost it.
Nope.
And she's not doing really anything.
Nope. And Madison Rain is there as a literal placeholder.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense with that group of talent that you have on that roster, that's what you come up with.
Yeah, and they even bring in some names like Deonna Purrazzo and stuff like that occasionally too, where you can bring in other names that aren't signed to TNA or to NXT or somewhere else. Like, you can do stuff with the Knockouts division, and they just choose not to.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so that was my good.
Wow.
I still love Allie. Like,
yeah.
she, like, honestly, I would watch the handicap match because her performance in it is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. On to my bad. There's a couple things I could go with. I mean that legitimately because they almost ruined everything I wanted to say. We're gonna go with just everything surrounding the King of the Mountain title.
Okay.
Everything surrounding it, because it covers a few topics.
Because I vaguely know what happened with that.
That's fine. I mean, Eli Drake, had a really cool segment last week where he was telling James Storm that if he wanted to give James Storm a shot at the title, he had to stop drinking beer. He had to, be morally upright and, be someone who's worthy of being a champion.
Mhm.
Very cool angle. The way they interpreted that this week, I'm guessing I read way more into it than I should have last week. James Storm came out in his little beer koozie. He drank. He poured beer on little children. And the whole gimmick was James Storm has to win the King of the Mountains title or else he can't be James Storm anymore.
Okay.
Now,
who made this match?
I don't know. Because Dixie is in charge of Impact, so she wouldn't have made this match because she's a face now.
Neither really with Billy Corgan. Like, that doesn't make...
Can I tell you, I didn't even remember Billy Corgan worked there. We haven't seen him, and thank God, but I didn't remember he worked there until you just mentioned his name.
Right.
This is the second match in like maybe 4 weeks where someone has had to renounce their gimmick if they lost.
Mm.
And the other one, obviously, being the Final Deletion.
Which didn't really announce anyone's gimmick.
Nope. We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. If you have this many matches within a short amount of time span that the loser needs to change their gimmick, maybe you as a creative team should change their gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, because that just, like I said it last night on my live tweet, James Storm is the stale beer of TNA. He's the beer you've had on your shelf, not even in the fridge. It's on your shelf. You know when the expiration date is, but it'll probably still taste pretty okay if you crack it open. But
Great metaphor.
No one really wants it.
Yeah.
Like,
I also like. I really like, especially after last week's promo. Like, I was like, oh, I'm starting to kind of like Eli Drake.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely starting to come around.
Also,
yeah.
How long has he had the belt?
Not long.
Like after he had the title shot and
maybe 2 months. Maybe 2 months.
Like, really?
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not a matter of like stuff wasn't working, so they had to change stuff up. No, Eli was doing well.
Yeah, this is literally when it was starting to work.
Yeah, and then they're like, we're going to take the belt off of you. What logic? And I saw also that. So they're doing the championship belt collector thing with Lashley. And like, what the fuck? Like, stop. That worked so well when you did it with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. Like, okay, so Eli Drake won the belt on May 31st. It feels like it's been way less time than that.
Is that by date of the show?
By date, yeah. It was taped like in late April.
Gotcha.
So first of all, there's a problem there.
So basically 2 months. Yeah, that's
basically a little bit over 2 months. He was starting to really cook.
Yeah,
like really, really working. He started to believe his promos a little bit more. He has more of a gimmick now.
That's the thing I kind of hate about TNA is that the stuff that's not good and not really working, they'll keep going with, like the Mike Bennett stuff and like arguably some of the stuff for the Hardys and stuff like that. And then like somebody will start to do well, and then they'll take stuff away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, we haven't said, but James Storm won the King of the Mountain title.
Right.
So immediately as he's going to celebrate, in which he pours beer on little children, like legitimately 6-year-olds. It's horrible. They're at a theme park, for fuck's sake. Come on. Lashley comes out and says he wants to fight. And he wants the belt. Which... And you know what's funny? Like, in the promo, I'm not sure if it was Lashley that screwed up or James Storm that screwed up. Lashley said he'll put his TNA World title on the line. He never said anything about the X Division Championship.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you come back from commercial, you realize that all 3 belts are on the line. So, basically, unless there's a screwy finish, which it's TNA, there likely will be a screwy finish.
Also, like, we're not too far away from Bound for Glory.
Oh, no, we're very far away, Eamon.
Well, yeah, but still. Like,
it's in October. We're still two
but,
months away from it.
Well, like early October. But, like, what's the point of doing this? I don't understand the point of doing this.
Well, do you want to know the point, Eamon? Do you really want to know the point? Because I think I figured it out. I'm not joking about this. Bound for Glory was supposed to be next month.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be on September 11th. But WWE scheduled a pay-per-view for the same day.
Right.
So they're like, okay, let's just push everything back a month. And that's why we're getting this. Because they want a placeholder for a month where Lashley can lose the other titles. I'm betting.
That's so stupid.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
It's entirely horrible. Like, and I mean, unless it's something where EC3 costs Lashley each of those other titles. And
but even still.
No,
like,
but I mean, it makes Lashley super pissed off at EC3, which is fine, except that EC3 is kind of in a feud with Drew Galloway.
Yeah, it's like everything's all over the place. Like, I don't get it.
Now, I have a question, Eamon. Do you think that Lashley makes it to Bound for Glory as TNA champion? Because I don't.
Really?
I don't.
I don't even think we're getting a straight Lashley EC3 match.
Oh, no, I don't. I think... Here's my prediction. There's going
to be a special referee added.
No, you don't want to make it that fair. I think Lashley is going to win the King of the Mountain title next week.
Right.
So he'll have all 3 belts. And then he'll proceed to lose all 3 belts before Bound for Glory. That's my prediction.
Jesus.
And I have a prediction. And the people who I think he will lose those belts to, King of the Mountain, he'll lose it back to...
Probably Storm.
No, I'll say Bram.
Oh, God.
I don't know why. It's just in my brain. X Division title to DJZ.
Okay.
Which will be fine. And the world title to Drew Galloway. And I think Moose will cost Lashley the world title. That way, Bound for Glory, we get Lashley versus Moose. We get Drew versus CC3 versus Bennett.
Such a freaking illogical way to go about that.
Yeah, which is why I think that's what's going to happen, because TNA doesn't use logic.
But yeah, I just don't get it. There's other ways that you can set that up. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just not good. Because Lashley is not the guy you want having all 3 titles as a main heel. You know who you want that to be? EC3.
Bennett. Well, okay.
EC3.
I thought you were going to say it's like a main heel. Like
Bennett could work with that too.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like in the sense of, well, that's the thing. In the sense of his gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the sense of he's the miracle. He's going to make,
I make miracles happen. Yeah.
What's bigger miracle than holding all the belts? Like.
Yeah.
That's it's like fit for him, and they're giving it to Lashley for no fucking reason. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't work. But anyway, let's move on to my change. Hey, Eamon, do you know why the final deletion was so well received?
I don't know.
Well,
Honestly.
no. But legitimately,
Because people love car wrecks.
no, because it was different.
Yeah.
Because it was different. Because it was unique. TNA needs to stop trying to make every week the final deletion.
They should try to just tell a story.
Yeah, no, they need to stop making every week the final deletion between what Matt Hardy's doing and the stuff with Rosemary and Decay and Bram. They're trying to make every week like that. Like,
that's not the way to go about it.
No, it's not. Like, Matt Hardy should not call out Jeff or Brother Nero and then say, Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. He has to. Like, that's not a catchphrase.
But that's not even that. Like, and I agree, but like,
I know Matt's insane. I know Matt's insane, and they're writing him as that. But you can do insane and have it work.
And have it tell a story. Other than
look at Mickey.
Other than Jeff is wrestling a handicap match, and then for no reason, literally no reason, other than to do it, Matt Hardy grabs a fan, pulls him over the guardrail, and bites his neck.
Yes. For no reason.
Literally no reason other than it's weird.
It wasn't even a person in a Jeff Hardy shirt. Which
it was
that guy would get. Like, if it was someone who was dressed up as Jeff Hardy, like a plant, dressed as Jeff Hardy with the face paint and everything, that's perfect. That's fine. I understand that character motivation.
And it wasn't like to really cause a distraction or like, like
I said, because he wanted Jeff to win the match.
To tell like an integral part of the story. Chuck Taylor was just working over Jeff Hardy in a move, and Matt does it just because we got to make Matt look weird and have people talking about how he bit a dude. Like, that was my problem with the final deletion in the first place, and I said it when it happened. It felt like they were doing it just to be weird. It felt like they were doing it just to get buzz. And I'm sorry, that's not a reason why you should do things in a wrestling
okay. You can do it once. You can do it once in a while. If your product is stale and something like that, you can do something like that.
You can't do it over and over and over again.
No, because once you do that every week, it becomes less and less special and less impactful.
And more obvious.
Especially when your announcers don't acknowledge a storyline. When Josh and Pope keep calling him Jeff Hardy, like, they're half and half on if they're calling him Jeff Hardy or Brother Nero. Like,
and nothing about Jeff is different.
No, nothing about him. The only thing is that he doesn't pay his face, and he has a somehow even worse theme song. Like make Jeff change. Make Jeff actually change. Make him wear like a singlet. Could you imagine Jeff Hardy wrestling in a singlet that says obsolete right across? That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing because it would look like he would look like a broken down mule, like Matt Hardy wants him to be. Like, if you make him change his entire style, because Matt said you can't use the top rope. Very cool idea. I appreciate that. He did it anyway. So there's no consequence for it.
But also that it doesn't, I agree, but also it doesn't make in the sense of like Matt wanting Jeff to win. Like, why does he want Jeff to win?
He wants Jeff to win. And honestly, the motivation behind Matt, this part of the storyline is okay by me. Because he said he wants Jeff Hardy to win back the tag titles by himself that he lost for them because he got injured. That's a cool motivation. I like that because it goes back to Jeff being an idiot, breaking his leg, i.e. TNA couldn't go to China with him. But it goes back to that, and I think that's actually a very cool idea.
That's fine. My issue with it is the whole point of this was that Matt wanted to delete Jeff. And if we're going based off the final deletion, he deleted him. Jeff shouldn't still be fighting and wrestling and solely wrestling for Matt Hardy if the whole point was that Matt feels that he was the superior Hardy. He was the one that got them all those tag titles. He's the reason they were successful. If he feels that way, Jeff shouldn't be appearing on TV every week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If the final deletion happened and Jeff Hardy died or fucking got injured again severely or whatever and didn't show up for months until Bound for Glory and you have some kind of big return or something like that, that's cool.
Or like you see him be like when Kane buried the Undertaker before WrestleMania 20, and we didn't.
And
see
you didn't see Taker for months.
Yeah, and he underwent because that was the American Badass Undertaker. That wasn't like Ministry. That wasn't like the Darkness. That was American Badass Undertaker. That was the end of that character.
Or when Steve Austin gets run over by a car.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm saying is you have Jeff Hardy come back as Willow. You have Matt Hardy start to be haunted by visions of Willow.
That's fine too.
That would be really cool.
Like if you still want to use Jeff, that's fine too. But like, there's no reason for Matt to be like, I deleted Jeff Hardy, but I'm still gonna have him around. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But and let's go to the other part of that. Eamon, did you see the Rosemary segments?
I saw the only one they have on the YouTube channel is a recap of last week's segments.
Yeah, a lot of it was recap.
Okay, because I didn't see if anything new happened.
Something new did happen. All right, now, Eamon, I'm going to describe this to you, okay?
Oh, boy.
Are you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, so you know how we called it the rape barn?
Uh-huh.
We were pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
Basically, she had brought this guy up there. I'm not sure why she brought him up there because it seemed like there was a romantic element involved. And then he, in the flashback they showed, he put his hand on her thigh and she went berserk and killed him.
Okay.
Now, if that's not the worst case of mixed signals, I don't know what is. But then they flash back. And I have to say, I have to give, as much as I don't like doing it because he's a piece of shit person, Bram in this was hilarious.
Okay.
Because he's just sitting there like, you know, we don't have to, we could just go grab a pint. We could just, you know.
Grab a pint.
He actually said that. He actually said that.
Because he's British. I love it.
Yeah. It was because they were just sitting there the whole time.
Let's go down to the pub and get a bangers and mash in this rainy weather.
It was really because Bram at that point, I don't even think they told him what she was going to say. I think he was just actually reacting like a normal person would to this.
Now, was it literally like he put his hand on her thigh, or because based off of last week's,
that's what they showed. I'm not sure.
Because based on last week's video, it like looked like he did the motion as someone would to put their hand on their thigh, but he wasn't over her thigh.
Yeah.
Like, so it looked like he was gonna do something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, because then Rosemary was like, this person was just like every other guy, you know, stuff, blah 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 blah. But then, Bram kind of loses it for no reason. Like, apparently this whole thing with Rosemary happened on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Because of course it did.
Yes, duh.
And Bram just kind of gets super frustrated. And it's like, listen, we've all had bad things happen to us on Valentine's Day. We've all had our hearts broken. And Rosemary loses it, grabs an axe, and goes to swing at him.
Jesus.
I'm not joking.
Which makes me...
And it looks like she hits him. Like, it looks like she slices him.
Did we get a decapitated Bram? Is that what we're getting?
God, no. Eamon, you know me. If that was the case, that's literally all we would have been talking about this entire show.
Oh, then TNA would be my number one.
Yeah, TNA would be number 0. It would be like it would jump ahead of everything else for the first time in history.
Yeah.
But like, because he made Rosemary angry, and then you see Crazy Steve's head pop up in the window. You see Abyss's head pop up in the window, and Rosemary stalks him with a hatchet or an axe or something like that, and swings, and it looks like she hits him. And then the next thing we see is Abyss and Crazy Steve lifting up Bram's body and putting him into a trunk.
Jesus Christ.
Now, keep in mind, there's no blood, so I'm not sure how she hit him or if like she hit him with the
Did she
blunt
hit
part,
with the handle or whatever?
like maybe the blunt part of the axe. I don't know.
Keep in mind, I think this would be fine if we also didn't have like the knowledge that Bram was crazy at one point.
No, but Eamon, here's the worst part of this. You ready for it? And this is for no reason. I don't know why they show this. Decay has a BMW.
I love that.
Decay, you know,
It's
Decay.
It's the Decay mobile.
Decay has a fucking BMW. So this leads me to one conclusion. Okay? One conclusion. Rosemary is the illegitimate daughter of Dixie Carter.
That could be interesting.
Rosemary is the illegitimate daughter of Dixie Carter.
That could be honestly a really good swerve.
I know. And I just thought of this now. But I'm like, why would Decay have such a fancy-ass car if one of them didn't come from money? We know it wasn't Crazy Steve because he worked for the menagerie and that thing was on its last legs.
True.
We know it's not Abyss.
Well, maybe Abyss. Maybe Joseph Park's more real than we think.
No, but you have to remember they literally said Joseph Park doesn't exist.
But
so he's not an attorney.
Yeah, but revisionist history. Maybe like he still was able to come into a certain amount of money, like posing as Joseph Park. Like I don't know. Like
maybe.
That's my way to explain it.
Okay, but I'm good. Based off of what TNA has told me, Abyss is a psycho monster whose father is James Mitchell, and they did not have money except to buy ghoulish props for matches.
That's true.
So I'm gonna go with that. Rosemary's the illegitimate daughter of Dixie Carter.
Yeah, and that would mean Rosemary.
Yeah, and it would explain why she's so nuts. It would explain how she even got to TNA in the first place. Okay. Like I think it would be really interesting, and you could just have this be just an act of a rich girl who was spoiled and then disowned by her family.
It's literally like the storyline of a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, but you know what? They're doing it anyway.
I'm not saying that's bad, by the way.
Yeah, they might as well steer into the skit on that. That's the only thing I can think of. And I know they're live this week, so I don't know if they've filmed anything for it yet. So if you're watching, if anyone's watching, maybe do something like that because it would be cool and interesting and give some reason or logic to the storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened. Okay, I don't think there was anything else left on TNA. Was there anything else that you saw in spoilers or saw on YouTube that you want to touch on?
Not that I can immediately think of.
Okay. They did a thing with Moose. It's Moose. It's fine. He's just gonna be the heavy. Oh, and there was a completely forgettable tag match that I literally almost forgot about. Grado and Mahabali Shera versus the Tribunal. Still
the only match they built from last week.
Jackson Baraka and Al Snow. And of course the two people in the 2-on-3 match won.
Why is that? That's the trend this episode. Everyone who's on the disadvantage in the handicap matches wins.
Unless you're Drew Galloway, then you don't win.
Oh, really? Was there 3 handicap matches?
No, I'm just saying Drew Galloway, whenever there's multiple people involved in a match, he never wins.
Oh, yeah. Well, he beat Decay that one.
That's true. All right. So my ranking for TNA is 3rd this week. NXT and Cruiserweight Classic were just too good.
But I will say this: if Impact decides to go that route that Mike suggested with this Rosemary story, you will be my number 1 for the next.
Yeah, no, I will wholeheartedly admit that. That idea is free. I'm saying this now. That idea is free. I gave WWE the hype bros. I'm giving you this.
Thank you for giving us the hype.
Rosemary, you're welcome. You are goddamn welcome, Eamon. But I feel like, and plus it would explain why she has a name like Rosemary. Dixie looks like the person who would name their children after someone in a spice rack. Just saying.
When I hear Marjorie. Goddamn.
My daughter Oregano.
God damn it.
All right. So, Eamon, I know you'll watch TNA next week, right?
I'm sure I will.
Yes. Okay. All right. So next week we'll be back with a full good bad from both of us on TNA. But until then, Eamon, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Eamon2, please. And you can also check out Inspire Pro Wrestling, the company I'm involved with, over at inspireprowrestling.com.
All right. And you can find me at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machine. Also, hit up the at Mayhem show. I do live tweet TNA. I live tweet NXT and Cruiserweight Classic occasionally. I try and just enjoy those because they're like, especially Cruiserweight Classic, because basically just matches. And unless there's something super egregious in a match, I tend not to live tweet about it. But yeah, follow hit us up on Facebook too. If you like what TNA's doing, if you think we're wrong about any of this,
and there's some of you out there that think we're wrong.
There are plenty of you out there, way more than we care to count, that think we're wrong. Please email us. Tell us why we are wrong about this. I'm curious to hear differing opinions on it. We like to have people on when we can. Believe us, we want to help TNA. We're trying to offer constructive criticism here. We want them to be really good because they have a lot of really good talent there. So please email us. Tell us why you think we're wrong. Tell us why you think you're right. We will read it on the show. We may not agree with you, but we will give equal time to everyone. All right. So for Eamon Paton, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Midweek War.